All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former ECU great wide receiver Aundrae Allison, and football is here. Got a few week zero games on Saturday, but now the real deal begins this week, including East Carolina, NC State. We'll talk about it with Aundrae. How we doing today, Aundrae?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm excited about this week, and just looking forward to the football season getting started. Ain't nothing like the fall.
Yes, sir. Best time of the year. Let me ask you this, Aundrae, because I've talked to a ton of players in the past. Some are football junkies like me. Some just happen to be good at football and aren't really a fan of watching the sport. So, where do you fit in with your football fandom? Do you watch games or do you not really care about it? Like, how into it are you?
I'm into it, but not. It's not an extreme level of just watching. If I miss it, I'm okay.
Right.
Um, and that's just due to the fact that I have kids. I have a wife. I have family. So sometimes it's just like best to go along with whatever life brings in my direction. It may be an occasional Saturday or Sunday to where no football, no sports, and I just had to check the scores on Monday. But yeah,
I,
before this though, before my 4-year-old, my 3-year-old, it was like, okay, it's a must. I have to do that. But
yeah.
just they can come and take your time, and you got to be okay with that because if not, it's just unnecessary frustration.
Well, let's say mom goes away with the kids, or mom says, Aundrae, you can chill today. Would you pick a college football Saturday or an NFL Sunday if you could only pick one?
Oh, I'm
What?
picking the college football Saturday all day. That's without
Okay.
question.
All right.
Yeah.
And a big one to start for East Carolina. They take on NC State. Aundrae beat the Pack during his time here at ECU. Also beat Duke, beat Virginia. So you had a lot of ACC teams on the schedule during those brief years you were here, Aundrae. Any added juice that you felt going into those games compared to others?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just one of those things. You know the history of these ACC type teams, and you're kind of like the little brother in a sense. Even though East Carolina is a big program, we just don't have that same notoriety and that same bandwagon type of fan base that those programs have. So when you see that on your schedule, you're like extra juice. You just want to prove that you belong, talent wise and team wise, and your teammates, you really can compete with them. It's just the situations or the circumstances are what they are. So yes, you're over the top motivated for sure.
And I still remember that first game against Duke, and I know you do as well. And Aundrae, we've talked about it. You were very confident in yourself. You knew you were a player, and but how much did you need that first one? Like in basketball, you say you need to see a shot go in, right? How much did you need that first 50-yard touchdown to kind of cement it? Like I'm here, and this is what it's about, because that was a huge moment.
Yeah, see, I got a little bit of taste of that in high school when I was being recruited. So I was going to a lot of the ACC games. I would go to Carolina games all the time, and me seeing like Julius Peppers and people like that, and I'll never forget seeing Devin Hester against Carolina,
Yeah.
and I was already kind of like understanding like, "Damn, I can really play on this level. And then being in Georgia military, they had so many Division I players from University of Georgia and South Carolina that was just there, just for like a semester or two. And I was like, wow, like this is what Mr. Georgia or Mr. Florida looks like. So when I got to East Carolina in that Duke game, I was already confident in knowing I could do it. It was just the opportunity, and Coach Kirkpatrick and Coach Hopes, they just pretty much gave me a great opportunity to showcase my talents and abilities.
And that was early in that game. That was the first touchdown of the year for you guys, I believe. A 50-yarder from Pinckney to Allison, right?
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
we prepared so hard, especially in the off season. I mean, the conditioning, like the strength and training and all of that, we were really at the peak level of conditioning at that point. So it was just it kind of like was something that my family and I, my friends and I, we was just waiting to happen. And like I said, it's just they gave me a great opportunity to do it. And I just took advantage of that opportunity.
Real quick on the Georgia military, Aundrae. So, from what I understand, schools will say, "All right, we got you. We're going to send you here, and then you're going to come to us." Was it like that with you and ECU, or were you kind of openly looking at recruiting while you were at Georgia military?
Yeah, well, it was like that for me in University of North Carolina because I committed to
Okay,
them out of high school,
gotcha.
and then the receiver coach at the time was Gunnar Brewer, Coach Brewer, and that's how I was able to get that opportunity down there at Georgia Military College, just because of their connections or whatever. And then Carolina felt like they didn't have enough time to develop me into the receiver that they wanted me to be after my second year at Georgia Military. So I was unable to go back to that program. But East Carolina, Tulsa, BYU were some of the teams that I had a chance to go and visit and talk to. And I was gonna go to Tulsa, but then just looking at what Skip Hopes was wanting to put into place, and me being familiar with him because I played against him when he was the coach at South Carolina,
Yeah.
Georgia Military. We played their JV team, so I
Okay.
was familiar with Skip a little bit. Yeah.
That's cool. And any part of you, did you really care that it was like a rebuild? Like you were kind of building from the ground up when you got here, when Skip got here. It was bad before he got here. Did you like that part of it, Andre? That like, hey, I'm gonna lay a foundation here.
Yeah, that was my main motivating factor was, the rebuild and me being a key component of, the program going into a new direction. I like that challenge and it kind of fit into just the whole description of how my playing days were at the time. I was always kind of like the underdog or like the person that, was looked over by this amount of people or this or that. And I just took that and rode with it.
We saw Chris Johnson really flourish in 2007. We saw flashes before that, but when you saw him at practice or in games, did he look different? I mean, could you tell he was going to be something?
Yeah, but not the Hall of Fame, running back that
2000.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see that when I was playing with him. I knew he was gonna play in the pros, but I did see it when I left and went to the league and I came back to a game or two and I saw him really just go to a whole nother level. And it was like I tell him that story all the time. It just gave me chills. I'm like, he's definitely going to be an elite running back, especially after seeing the NFL. I was like, yeah, I could. There's a few players here that could definitely play and make the mark in this league.
From what I understand, he said this, and so is Skip and Donnie Kirkpatrick, that he really, not that he was, lagging off his previous years, but he put full 100% focus to, I got to do this. I got to go get drafted. I got to make it to the league. And when he put that together his senior year, boom, rest was history.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that happening, especially after I left the team. It pretty much was on his back.
Yeah.
And I do love the way that Coach Kirkpatrick and Coach Hoax, they definitely did a great job with just, building a team around him because he was definitely ready to carry the team for sure.
Was Dwayne there as a red shirt when you were there, or did you miss Dwayne Harris years?
Yeah, he was there. He was there.
How
Yep.
about him as a red shirt freshman? He's my all time favorite Pirate just because he's a damn warrior and one of those guys you like to watch play. But like did you think about anything of him his red shirt freshman year when he wasn't playing?
Yeah, I thought that he was really electric for sure. And just, an overall athlete, no matter where you put him, he was good at every single thing.
Right.
So I was like, okay, yes, it's no way that you can't have him on the field. And just to see what he was able to do, especially on the next level as well, I'm just like, I'm blown away at times just thinking back to those moments. Like, wow, you're surrounded by so much talent. And at the time, it's kind of like so much going on, you're not really able to digest it. But as you look back on it, you do feel really fortunate for being able to be around people like that.
A ton of talent, Andre, because the guys that developed into NFL players on that D line were young players when you were there, like the C.J. Wilson, J. Ross, Scotty Robinson. I don't know if Linville was there, but all those guys got at least a cup of coffee in the NFL.
Yeah, they did. And I'm happy to see that. I mean, that was one of those things too that, like I said, once you get a taste of the league and you're around it enough, you're like, it, our players definitely do deserve to be there, a lot of them. And it's just all about, the cards falling where they may,
Right.
and they can put you in a position to get that chance or not. But yeah, they definitely had a moment of just good D lineman going into the league.
And you can speak to it, Andre. I mean, you put in the work and you got the talent, but there's luck involved. There's it's not what you know, it's who you know. Sometimes if there's a coach that knows you at a certain NFL team, they'll keep you around. A guy that played here, Terrence Copper, stayed in the league for 10 or whatever years because Todd Haley had him with the Cowboys and then took over at Kansas City and brought him along. And you see guys just kind of bring players along with them when they go their different spots. So there's luck, there's who you know, there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of cards that got to fall your way.
Yeah, for sure. And those are behind the scenes things that you tend to overlook, but it's a lot of power in that dynamic that what you just went through, especially the who knows who type of situation. Because I for sure could guarantee a lot of the players who get opportunities, there is someone on that coaching staff and the pros who have a familiarity with the program. Now, with a position coach at the school that you're at or something like that, and that always helps out because the league is fine. They try to find ways not to pay you, so you just need someone there to vouch for you if that's something this that can help you out.
Speaking of not paying and then eventually paying, big Washington fan, obviously, and I have not been that jacked up about this season because of the Terry McLaurin dark cloud in Washington. I've been saying since day one, give him whatever the hell he wants and get him on the field. They paid him today. I was very happy to see that. So from a football standpoint, that's awesome, Andre. You know the business side of it too. So what do you think about like these holdouts? And it really felt like Terry didn't have much leverage other than he's an amazing player, amazing teammate, all that stuff. But Washington ended up paying him. I was glad to see it. What do you think about that?
I was happy to see him get paid as well. Any receiver, I'm always pro favorable receiver. Just because I know how much it takes like to have those type of productive years. Like so much has to go your way in order for you to get those type of numbers. And then, at the same time, if it's the reverse, your numbers fall off, there won't be a hesitation from these teams to really pay you what you're going to be valued at when your, production falls off.
Right.
So if you can maximize that opportunity in that window, it's a very small window that very few people get the opportunity to do something like what he just did. You have to take advantage of it because the reality is you'll be playing knowing that you're not really protected or valued where you should be, and you're not going to be able to play at the highest level anyway. So I'm happy to see that, and I love seeing those receivers reset the bar when it comes down to the salary and things of
Yeah,
that.
we've seen that with DK and T Higgins and now McLaurin this offseason. Andre, outside of the obvious Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, CD, who are your favorite receivers to watch in 2025?
Ooh, of course, JJ Jefferson on the Vikings. Um, Definitely Debo Samuels.
Yeah,
Um, Yeah, the Jamar Chase, that's a no-brainer. I would say a sleeper though is Amon Ra.
yeah.
That's one of my favorite receivers. I love his route running is top notch, but his catching ability is up there for sure. But then tight ends, the kid out there in Vegas that was on Georgia team, he's legit. I love watching him too.
He was a man among boys at Georgia, and sometimes you wonder like how does that translate to the NFL when everybody's elite, and it translated pretty dang good for him last year. He set some records. So
Yeah, he's legit for sure. He's definitely a receiver at tight end.
you got a Raiders fan producing back here that's smiling right now, ready for Geno to Bowers, and maybe we'll do a little NFL preview, see who Andre likes next week. But this week we're getting ready for Week 1 of college football. Just some of the big games coming up, Andre. Headliner: Texas at Ohio State, awesome Week 1 game. Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami. So I like that college football now. We got an expanded playoff. If you lose week 1, it doesn't hurt you as much as it used to. So teams aren't afraid to play these big headline games because, hell, it might help them. Even if they lose, they can still pile up some wins and have a good strength of schedule. But, man, just an awesome weekend coming up.
No, I'm looking forward to this weekend for sure. Like you said, those big matchups like that, it's a great thing that they did extend the season because those early games sometimes are just layup games or just ways to get the juices going. But now you got to approach the off season with a lot more seriousness, and the anticipation in itself is just going to continuously grow the sport as it should. But looking at that matchup with Texas and Ohio State and teams like that, it's amazing because like you said, it's really not even too bad if you lose in week one any longer. And that's a great thing. And then with the more teams in the playoffs and things of that nature, hey, the one and what is it, 8 seed, those teams like that, it could be easily a good matchup later on in the season. So I'm looking forward to that. But that NC State and ECU game is definitely a top rival game that I'm gonna be talking a lot of junk about this week to
We
all
were
my state
able
friends.
we were able to get a ticket for Rajay Harris. One of our listeners gave him a couple of tickets. He ran in the long touchdown to seal the win last year against NC State. We should have seen if Andre was available to go because you've had a fun moment there at Carter Finley Stadium as well.
No, for sure. I would love to go back. I've been considering it. I had got asked earlier today from some alumni if I was going to be in attendance, so I might look into it.
Yeah.
I'm ain't nothing like especially with the young boys, my kids. I love just having them around as much as possible. Just to get them ingrained into it.
And they're you mentioned their ages earlier. They're still young, Andre, but are they getting into sports yet? Any like soccer, baseball, anything?
Yep, I have them in baseball and soccer. I haven't allowed them to play football or basketball yet, but they do have those little balls around the house. But yeah, it's anytime I can get them actually at the game, that's my biggest thing because I just like to see what their response is like and how animated and excited they are. It's unbelievable. And I always record every time they're at the game because they are constantly moving around, juices going and running rambunctious.
That's awesome, man. Real quick on that. So, as a football player yourself and at the highest level, what is your philosophy going to be with your kids in football as far as contact, as far as flag? What? How are you going to protect them and also let them do what they want to do? You know what I'm saying when it comes to playing football.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the approach of just allowing them to organically go in that direction if that's something they're into. Just put as much stuff in front of them as possible to see which way they go, and just try to just be the full support behind whatever way they go. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't want them to play football at all. Just because it's to me, I always tell my wife it's like when you have kids, you want their legacy to be something of their own in a sense, and I just feel like it's almost like an unfair way for them to kind of walk the footsteps of their dad. I just want them to have a fair chance of doing something that fits them and that they could ultimately be the best at in their life and
Right.
not try to be so selfish as a parent.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to look at it, Andre. And your business with the health and recovery and stuff. How much do you personally feel? Like, do you wake up and your shoulder hurts or knee hurts? Like, do you feel any of the ramifications for playing football all those years?
I do have a little few aches here and there, but nothing too severe.
That's good.
Yeah, but I do stay on top of my health. Like I work out every day. I do the recovery stuff every day. I'm on top of getting lab tests done and things like that. I'm just all health driven everything, wellness driven everything. Because I pretty much have to be like the model person for our clientele and for
Right.
our business in itself. So I got to be living it in the same breath. I can't just be trying to convince people to do it without knowing how it actually makes you feel.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna show up in any of your commercials. We'll put it that way.
You could. We'll put you in the cold plunge.
Maybe before and after we'll
No,
do
we'll
so.
put you in the cold plunge for sure.
Andre, good stuff. Let's get a final prediction from you. You went to Carter Finley Stadium, knocked off the Pack. Can these Pirates do it? What's your prediction for Thursday night?
Oh, absolutely. I know for a fact we were able to do it, especially, with the momentum carried over from last year. A great 8-5 season and bowl victory and things like that. And, I feel like just going into this year with a renewed, refresh button, coaching staff and over 40 plus new players, it always puts us in a position to be favorable on the victor side. So I think we have the tools. I know we had the team for sure. It's just all about just everything gelling together and us carrying over that momentum from last year.
Andre, enjoyed the chat, man. We'll do it again. Talk college football and some NFL with you next Monday, man.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to it. And go Pirates! We will be victorious this week.